Have you ever looked at your life or your leadership and thought, how did I get here? Not in a dramatic way, but in a very quiet, subtle way where things just don't feel aligned anymore. You're still showing up, you're still doing what you're supposed to do, and yet something just feels off. If we haven't met yet, my name is Angela, and I talk a lot about what it really means to lead, especially the internal side of it that no one really prepares you for. I created something called the Alignment Standard. And really, it's about learning how to lead your life and your decisions from a place that actually feels true to you, instead of a place of pressure and expectations or just survival patterns. And one of the biggest things I see happen, especially with strong and capable people, is that they don't lose their direction all at once. They slowly just kind of drift. They drift. Very slowly, very quietly, and in ways that make sense at the time. You say yes whenever you feel pressure. You take on things that really aren't yours, and yet you just keep going even when something internally tells you to stop. And over time, you eventually wake up and realize you're not where you thought that you would be. And that's why I call it mission drift. And today we're going to talk about how it happens and how to come back into alignment. So mission drift isn't you falling apart. It's you adapting as a leader over and over again until you are no longer aligned. And it doesn't happen in one big decision. It happens in those small moments. Like saying yes when you felt pressured, or taking on things that weren't really yours, or ignoring your internal signal that tells you, this doesn't really feel right, but yet you choose to continue with it anyways. So what happens is you didn't actually choose a different path all at once. You just slowly stopped choosing yourself. So how does this happen? So you started carrying things that were never really yours to carry in the first place. So that could be other people's emotions, how they feel, things that are out of your control, how things end up resulting, and roles that you didn't question. You also become the one that quote unquote handles everything. Have you noticed like everybody comes to you for everything? It's because you are the strong one, you're reliable, and you're one that does not drop the ball. You are the one that keeps everything rolling. And at some point, being needed started to feel like who you were. And that is what became your identity, the one that everybody needed. And then eventually you stopped checking in with yourself and you started responding to everything else. So the external demands really outweighed your internal demands. The need to fulfill other people's emotions and things out of your control really started to outweigh who you were as a person and what you really needed for emotional support and your emotional well-being. Reaction started to outweigh your intention. So what does this actually feel like? Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but it just doesn't feel right? Like it just doesn't sit correctly? Or you feel this internal tension that you just can't explain? Or you're being very, very productive and getting things done, but you just feel this very disconnected feeling. And you feel responsible for everything, but yet nothing really fulfills you. You are functioning, but you are not fully there. Mission drift does not catch itself. Over time, mission drift can lead to chronic exhaustion. You begin to resent your position and who you've become, even though you don't fully admit it. You lose clarity and that self-trust. You have no idea where exactly you were going, or what you really desire and want to be doing. And you begin to question everything that you do to where nothing really makes sense anymore. And that is how mission drift slowly and subtly happens. So you have to really be honest with yourself. Like, who are you right now? Where are you currently? Are there things that really feel off with you? Are there things that you are carrying that are really heavy that maybe are not even yours to carry in the beginning? That you chose to take on and yet for some reason you can't let go of them? So ask yourself, what is actually mine to carry? And what are things that I'm actually just carrying because it's out of habit or out of pressure or out of routine? Start making those decisions from truth instead of pressure. So ask yourself, what would I choose to do if I wasn't trying to meet expectations? If I wasn't trying to meet what my boss was asking me to do, what would that look like? Because the truth is, alignment isn't about changing everything at once. You do not have to change everything at once. But it is about making subtle changes and choosing things differently, one decision at a time. Just because you've drifted does not mean that you're stuck there. You can easily come back. And it's not about forcing a complete reset on yourself. You are not broken, but you need to start listening to yourself again. What is the internal you telling you? What is the internal you saying, this is off, I shouldn't be carrying this, why am I doing this? That is what will clue you in to things that are out of alignment. If you are feeling any of this, do not ignore it. Mission drift doesn't fix itself, but it can be corrected. And this is exactly what I wrote my book around. How to come back into alignment without losing yourself in the process. If you want to go deeper into this, there's a link in my bio that will take you straight to my book. You didn't lose your direction. You just stopped checking in with it. Again, my name is Angela, the founder of the Alignment Standard, author of Call to Lead. Thank you so much for joining my very first podcast episode, and I look forward to you joining us again for the next one. Thank you and be blessed.